Bikini Bottom. Not only is this a real place on Earth, but also it was the target of the largest bomb ever detonated by the United States. Are you ready, kids? Our story today begins in the Pacific, between Hawaii and the Philippines in the Marshall Island chain. A population of about 40,000 people are spread across 5 main islands and 29 atolls, one of which is named Bikini. Now, before we talk about SpongeBob and his friends, we need to talk about the original inhabitants of Bikini, the Marshallese. During World War I, the Marshall Islands were occupied by Japan. In World War II, it's the United States that assumes occupation of the Marshall Islands. In 1946, the United States forces relocation of the inhabitants of Bikini Atoll and decides they're going to begin nuclear testing. This is an image of nuclear test Baker, and you can see in the edge right here the rim of Bikini Atoll. Now the question is, did SpongeBob creators choose the name Bikini on purpose? Did they know of this nuclear history, or is it just a coincidence? One needs to look no further than Dying for Pie. Any SpongeBob diehard knows this episode well. But if you need a refresher, it is when Squidward convinces SpongeBob to eat a pie with a bomb in it, and he spends the rest of the day waiting for SpongeBob to explode. In that episode, they show this image, which is from Nuclear Test Baker. Now, the United States continues to test nuclear weapons here, and in 1954, one test goes wrong. Due to an unforeseen chemical reaction in Weapons Test Bravo, a bomb that should have created 4 to 8 megatons ends up becoming 15 megatons. Over 15 years of nuclear testing, Bikini Atoll is subject to 1,000 times the Hiroshima bomb. And now you may be thinking, what about those original inhabitants of Bikini Bottom? What about the Marshallese? Now, almost 30 years after their forced relocation, the inhabitants of Bikini Atoll were allowed to return. And shortly thereafter, it was found that the water was contaminated with strontium-90, and they were forced to relocate again. Now, the relationship of Bikini Bottom to Bikini Atoll has been confirmed by writers and creators of SpongeBob in previous interviews. So now it's time for us to make some theories. Is it nuclear radiation that makes the animals in Bikini Bottom able to talk? What about when SpongeBob goes to Rock Bottom? Were those creatures subject to more radiation? What about Sandy Cheeks? Was she one of the land animals that the military subjected to radiation? To these questions, we may never get answers. But today we give our respect to the Marshall Islands and the Marshallese, the real-life inhabitants of Bikini Bottom.